Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm CJ, and today I want to talk to you about something that has turned out to be a little bit more controversial than I expected. I've put this podcast under the Only Facts series because, well, it is, and it seemed appropriate. Remember, if you're enjoying these JiKook podcasts and audiobooks, please hit that subscribe button. We're really close to a milestone on this channel, and it would be incredibly helpful. We'd be really grateful. So this episode started out life as a YouTube video where I said very simply that as we head into Are You Sure Season 2, the most important thing JiKookers can do right now is to be kind, to not engage with haters, to choose love over hate. And I'll be honest with you, I genuinely thought that was the least controversial take in the world. Didn't even know whether anyone would bother watching the video. Love is better than hate. Protect your peace. Be kind. Well, apparently not, because this is the internet, so here we are. Some people really resonated with it. I did get messages from JiKookers saying it was great to hear someone trying to diffuse the situation for a change, that it reminded them to take a deep breath before they engaged, that it helped them to step back from really nasty arguments and try and feel calmer again. But I also got some pushback. There were people who felt frustrated, who thought I was saying, just be quiet and take it, or never call anything out. So I wanted to come here where we can all breathe a little more and go deeper to talk about why I still believe not engaging with haters is the healthiest option most of the time, and also to acknowledge some of the nuance around it that a short YouTube video can't always hold. So again, as we are approaching episode 1 of Are You Sure Season 2, I've noticed, I'm sure you've noticed as well, the closer we get, the louder the haters are getting. Anytime something big is about to happen for Jimin and Jungkook, the noise around them ramps up. The love gets louder, the support gets louder, and so does the panic from people who really do not want to see what feels obvious to the rest of us. You can feel it in the comments section and in the quote tweets, where you see again the messages we've seen for years now. It's just fan service, they're just acting, the whole show is scripted, the worst of it being it's queerbaiting. That creator talked about how it's just jeong, it's just friendship, so stop romanticizing it. We have watched people twist the meaning of this new cultural term that we've been introduced to, jeong, to try and flatten this deep, complicated bond into something that can be easily dismissed. We've watched this for years. And with Are You Sure 2 literally being marketed as having romance in it in some of the promos, you can feel this tension building. Some people are excited, some people are terrified, and some people are just angry. They're angry at idols they don't know, they're angry at fans they've never met, they're angry at the idea that Jimin and Jungkook might fit or might be more than what fits neatly into the boxes they've created in their imagination. So when I made the video saying, please don't engage with them, please choose kindness, I thought we would pretty much all just nod and move on. But the internet is the internet. And some people heard, be kind, and what they understood was, never be angry, or never speak up, or just let people walk all over you. And I want to be very clear about this. This is not what I mean. Anger is not evil. If you are queer or marginalized in any way, or if you have been hurt by the fandom dynamics because of the way that this is being perceived, or you just prefer that people look at things realistically and see logic, you are absolutely allowed to feel angry when you see certain behavior. You're allowed to set boundaries. You're allowed to say, this is harmful and this is not okay. And while what I'm talking about in this episode is very specific, I'm talking about getting dragged into endless bad faith fights with people who do not want to understand you, who are not arguing in good faith, who will never, ever in a million years even look at what you were trying to say with an open mind or a logical stance. And this is where I say very strongly, do not engage. Not because your feelings are wrong, but because those fights are designed to drain you. Your energy is a currency these days. Everything is clamoring for it. The clickbait headlines, the endless streams of TikTok videos or even YouTube shorts. Everyone wants your attention just for seconds, even sometimes. Be careful where you choose to spend it. So let me restate my stance clearly. You know I'm a JiKooker, and you know that I absolutely believe Jimin and Jungkook share a bond that is deeper than friendship. I make content about it, I talk about it, I deep dive into it. I believed this from almost a decade of watching their relationship develop. But when it comes to hate, to mockery, to people calling it fan service or acting or queerbaiting, here is my advice. Do not engage. Not in the quote tweets, not in the comments or the DMs, not in the random threads where someone is frothing at the mouth over delusional shippers. You don't have to answer them. You do not have to defend yourself or your beliefs, what you think this whole situation is about, what you feel Jimin and Jungkook's relationship has shown us over the years. You certainly do not have to defend Jimin and Jungkook. They are grown men, and they have both shown very clearly over the years they are capable of dealing with any hate that comes their way. Very, very strongly. The moment you start arguing with people who do not want to understand you, you have already lost. Not because your position is wrong, not by any means, but because you have handed over your time, your energy, and your peace to someone who was never, ever interested in what you had to say to begin with. So that, for me, is the line. Am I guilty of sometimes getting dragged into it myself? Oh, you better believe it. There have been times when I have been snarky to the hate comments here on my own channel. There have been plenty of times I have quote tweeted or retweeted and gotten involved in bad faith threads on Twitter. Absolutely. I've been in this fandom almost a decade. It's not possible that I haven't gotten drawn into it. But that doesn't mean my advice is bad. It just means I should follow it more often. So again, let's name what's happening now. Are You Sure 2 is being teased with romance. We have years of context, years of moments, years of them choosing each other in both the big and the small ways. If you are a JiKooker, that feels exciting. We cannot wait to see what's going to happen. It feels like all the threads you've been following, all those beautiful edits, all those moments feel like they might be coming together into something more public. If you are someone who has spent the last decade insisting they're just friends, no homo, just bros, it's all fan service, it's some big hit conspiracy that they're trying to sell to you, well, that is terrifying to think that you might be proven wrong. Because if you're wrong, you have to confront a lot of things. You have to confront your own biases. You have to confront how you have spoken about them in the past. You might even have to confront your own ideas about what queerness looks like, what masculinity, what love is allowed to look like. So instead, people are doubling down, and the hate is just getting louder. They will throw anything they can out to avoid the simple truth that they don't know these men. Neither do we, but we all have our interpretations. The difference is that JiKookers are saying, based on what we see, this looks and feels a lot like a romantic bond. If we ended up with a partner, a romantic partner in life, that looks at us the way Jungkook looks like Jimin, that cares for us and makes sure that we are supported in the way that they do for each other, would we be disappointed? I think we'd all consider ourselves incredibly, incredibly lucky. Definitely not upset about that. But we are not demanding everyone agree. And we know we're not entitled to proof. We know that there's no reason at all, whether they're dating each other or dating anyone else, that they owe us an explanation. It's their private life. But the people shouting us down are the same ones that are policing other people's joy. They're the ones who are saying they're absolutely not dating each other, despite the fact we have no proof they aren't. They're saying they absolutely cannot be gay, despite the fact we have no proof that they aren't. And that all ties back into the whole heteronormative stance that, of course, they're not gay until they come out, where straight people, of course, never have to come out, do they? So instead of just using let's be straight as the default, let's open ourselves up to that. But anyways, let's getting back to the point here. So these people who are shouting us down and who are spreading all this hate are also the same ones who are making assumptions while they're telling us not to. But we do not need to match that energy. So here's one thing I want to say in the podcast that I'm not going to say fully in the video. Not engaging does not mean never having an opinion. Of course, you're allowed to talk about patterns in the industry. Of course, you're allowed to discuss the idea that this is being called fan service or queerbaiting or whatever as a concept, and to call that out as real harm, whether it's from companies, the media, or other parts of the fandom. There is a big difference, though, between making thoughtful content about these topics for people who want to listen. I don't mean me as a YouTuber or a podcaster or whatever. I'm also talking about content being your replies, your comments, your Tumblr blogs, your own tweets, etc. There's a difference between speaking about these topics for people who want to listen and replying under a stranger's tweet where they're already calling you names and mocking you. One is choosing your space and your words, and the other is walking into a bar fight and wondering why you got punched. My advice, again, to do not engage is about the bar fight, not silencing your brain. If you take nothing else away from this episode, take this. If we claim to love Jimin and Jungkook, we need to act in a way that represents their values. If we claim to love the members of Bangtan Sonyeondan, we need to act in a way that represents their values. We want ARMY to be an example of one of those great fandoms that works for the better of not just the music industry, but the world. We don't want to be seen as that toxic fandom. So what do we see? What are these values we see from BTS? We see respect and hard work. We see kindness to staff, to juniors, to fans, patience, a refusal to publicly tear down other people, even when they themselves are being attacked. We see Jimin, who apologizes when he thinks he's hurt someone, even if it was unintentional, and the apology is completely, in many people's eyes, unnecessary. We see Jimin, who releases a statement deliberately vague so as to not hurt someone's pride, despite the hate being thrown at him. We see Jungkook, who will sit on a live with us literally all day, who wants to just spend time with us and have fun and see us having fun with each other, and says straight out that he does not want ARMY fighting with each other. These are the people we say we admire. So why would we ignore that the second someone calls us delusional on Twitter? We do not need to be the fandom that snaps back, that mocks, that drags people for clout. That kind of content might get views, and oh, does it ever? I've said it before, I could go and make a massive success of this channel if I wanted to step into that gossip space where there's clickbaity headlines and half-truths about rumors that are painting the members of this beautiful group as jealous, manipulative, hateful people. But I will not do that. Ever. Quote me on that one. Clip that. Save that. I will not do that ever. Now, that does not mean you can never make a joke or vent in a safe space with friends. It just means that when we go out there with our names and our profile pics and having JiKook whatever in your username, if you say, I love these two, I love these 7, let's remember that we're also carrying their image with us into that space. So, again, simple steps, simple practical steps that I try to stand by. As I said, I'm not always as good about it as I could be, but everyone's a work in progress and we can all try and get better. Scroll past. You're allowed to just keep moving. Again, not everything deserves your attention. Make sure you have keywords muted in your accounts. If certain phrases or accounts always ruin your mood when you go to your timeline, mute them, block them, protect your peace. Block liberally. Your timeline is your home. And if someone keeps barging in to insult you or the members, they do not need access to your space. Do not quote, retweet, reblog, hate. Even if you are dragging them, even if you are trying to point out how wrong they are, you are still boosting their tweet in the algorithm. You are still giving them more reach. We really, really should be trying to avoid that. Try to nip it in the bud. So put your energy into love. Instead of arguing, let's try to use that same time to stream their work, to leave a kind comment on a positive post, to hype up another JiKooker who is making something beautiful. Go stream all the music. Go rewatch season 1 of Are You Sure? Make sure that you comment on the amazing achievements that Jimin and Jungkook and the other members are. They're happening literally every day. Something else pops up new. Make sure you vote when you see members up for awards. Hitting block is not weakness. Not responding to something is not losing. It's not promoting it or saying that you believe that it's correct. It's protecting your peace, and it's working to stop the spread of it. It's working to disconnect it from the algorithm so it doesn't spread. Choosing kindness is not naivety. It's not weakness. It's a strategy. It's self-respect. And honestly, it's a very powerful kind of loyalty, a very difficult loyalty to BTS and the values that they espouse. So at the end of the day, whether the haters like it or not, Are You Sure 2 is coming. There was that whole campaign trying to get it canceled because they didn't like it. Doesn't matter. Disney doesn't care. It was one of the highest rated shows the first season was on their network for that time. Of course, they were always going to continue on with making season 2. Jimin and Jungkook are going to keep living their lives, whether the strangers on the internet approve or not, as well they should. Our job is not to try and control the narrative. People are going to scream. People are going to hate. They are going to tell you what they believe they see. It's also our job not to try and to force anyone to see what we see. Let's just enjoy it for what it is. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Our job as JiKookers should be to support their projects, to celebrate the moments that we feel are meaningful to them and to us. And if you can, find a safe place with other JiKookers where you can talk openly and honestly, where you feel like you have a safe place to breathe and to escape from all this hate. Above all, let's really, really try and rep the values of Jimin and Jungkook and BTS. We tell people all the time how kind they are, how loving they are, how much they care about their fans and each other. So we need to be kind, and we should be loving, and we really should be caring about each other too, especially now when things are heating up. So as episode 1 of Are You Sure season 2 approaches, I want to invite you to make a choice with me. And I need to, again, remind myself so I don't get dragged into. This isn't, of course, a choice about whether you believe JiKook is a romantic relationship or not. You're listening to the end of this podcast, so I'm guessing you probably do, but maybe you don't, and that's fine too. You already know how I feel about that. But I mean a choice about how you show up when these things happen. It's going to happen. The choice we have is how we react to it. Are you going to allow yourself to get dragged into the hate? Are you going to allow yourself to engage in such a way that you're boosting those horrible tweets and blogs and sometimes edits, whatever? Or can we all, myself included, find the strength to just breathe, smile to ourselves, remember the years of moments we have watched unfold between these two, and then choose not to fight a stranger on the internet who has already decided we are wrong and nothing we can say or do is going to change their mind or make them stop. Instead, let's pour that energy into something that feels a lot more like love. So find a beautiful JiKook edit that you love and hype that up. Leave a beautiful comment under Jimin and Jungkook's official content, telling them how much you value what they do, how much you admire their talent. Support other creators who make you feel seen. Tell another JiKooker, hey, you're not Delulu, no matter what they say. You're not Delulu for seeing what you see. You're not alone. I see that too. And as the haters get louder, let's not match their volume. Let's instead try to match Jimin and Jungkook's hearts. So we'll spread love and not hate. And remember, we do not need everyone to believe us. It's fine. We just need to keep building a space where people who do believe can feel safe and respected and loved while we enjoy this wild, beautiful journey of Are You Sure 2 together. So thank you for spending time with me today and letting me explain a little more about what I meant behind that original video. I really do hope this episode helps you to gather a bit more strength, because it is nasty out there and we do get insulted and called names and mocked. The amount of times I've been the target of hate campaigns over the past 9 years I've been involved in this fandom is just crazy. But we're still here and we're still going, because those men give me strength. You look at them and you want to live up to what they hope their fandom is, what they believe their fandom is. So again, thank you for making it to the end. If you value these podcasts, if you are enjoying any of the audiobooks, please remember to subscribe to the channel. Again, we're so close to that milestone and it would really, really help. Remember, you can find more videos and more stories on my main channel at CJ Moon Writes. And if you want to be part of a JiKook community that is kind and mature and safe, you are more than welcome, warmly, warmly welcome, to join us on the Patreon at patreon.com/CJMoon. It is free to join, and membership perks start from just $1 a month, if you so choose. But that's not for everyone. It is free to join. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I hope you have a fabulous day. I love you. I purple you. Sarange.